Hello and welcome back. We're picking up where we left off last time in FreeCol, also short for free colonization. We're continuing the France run from last time. Apparently I have just a random Indian convert selected here, but probably not do anything with that convert. Practice. Um, as far as winning the game, we need to go ahead and get independence. Colony Advisor showed it? No. Which means we need the Sons of Liberty support over 50%. Requirements? No. We need to get the Sons of Liberty level over 50% across the entire colony. We got a couple cities, like the original city here, that's over 50%. Charles Fort, I think, is 100%. The rest are a bit low, which is why we can't do it yet. At the same time, we need to go ahead and get up our military so that we think we can take on the Royal Expeditionary Force. We're going to be on the defensive, which offers us some advantages. Mainly, we can fortify our cities, and the cannons, at least for the defensive purposes, will be in the open. So cannons are easy to destroy in the open, though they get advantages attacking defending cities. We'll also be defending, so the biggest difficulty we're going to run into is we don't necessarily know where they're going to attack. Usually the AI goes after poorly defended cities, so in our case, we have our largest city is actually fairly fortified. So we're likely to leave that one alone, or at least that'll be probably the last place to attack. Charles Fort is also fairly well fortified. Any place that we have no fortifications, we can actually abandon before the War of Independence. So Cayenne down here, we're probably going to abandon. It's inland. It has no ore production, so it's not going to be able to assist with producing more guns. The only place it can really assist once we get started and get fighting is actually in supplying horses. If we abandon it, obviously, before the War of Independence, then while it won't be able to supply any horses, it also won't be able to be something the Royal Expeditionary Force can take over. Caroline, again, same sort of logic going on there, where I don't think we're going to fortify it. We may even go so far as to abandon it. That way we've got sort of a small geographical area where we're actually going to defend. We'll abandon the small silver mine up here, so basically we're focusing on these 5 cities. 2 of these 5 cities have access to ore, and by extrapolation are able to make guns. I may actually stop having a canal city, so I might actually abandon this one, for example, and just have the one city on the coast there. Now that we've got nice roads and stuff like that. We'll abandon the city over here, which abandon Quebec, which again is just a silver mine, effectively. Which is making us money, making it more plausible for us to afford buying things like guns and such before we start the war. So it'll probably be the 4 cities in here that we have to defend. They're likely to go after either Port Royal or Tadoussac first, and they're very likely to actually go after Tadoussac. I think... Have we even put a wall in? We haven't put a wall in either of them. Before we do independence, we probably want to wall both of them. Stockade wouldn't be very expensive. Going as far as... I think we've got the stockade here. It's hard to see in this version what type of wall that is. I'm not sure if that is the stockade or the upgrade to the stockade offhand. But the stockade, fort, citadel, I think is what the 3 tiers are. Stockade, fort, then we can't plus a little there because we're not a lot of population. So we've got the full citadel in Charlesburg Royal. Charlesburg Royal will probably be where we have the majority of our troops stationed when we start the War of Independence. And then they'll probably attack the other cities, and then we basically need to attack their army column while they're out in the open between the other cities. It's basically the plan for defense. So let's cycle the turn, let's get some time moving. We have a ship in Europe. Cigar factory's productivity is decreased. Okay. Oop, and we've lost our missionary over there. That's fine. We don't really need very many more Indian converts. Tobacco's getting a little cheap. It's almost at the point where we might be better off not wrapping the cigars if we didn't have a ban on selling tobacco. What do we want to buy? What's the status for selling? Oh, you'd buy cigars, and at that point, that's actually profitable for cigar selling. So we might bring some cigars down there. Tools, cloth. Nope. What did it say? Tools, rum, cigars. I could sell tools to the natives, as apparently is the case. Rum, tools. Okay, so one of these wants trade goods. We'll buy one thing of trade goods and bring that back. And then we'll equip this free colonist as a dragoon and ship him back to Charlesburg Royal. So right now we have a silver mine going on here. We did the closest Indian convert actually dropped in here as well. So I could potentially have this guy making food. Wouldn't be the worst of ideas. So you're equipped with cloth and coats. So you buy coats. I just looked at this a couple turns ago, but I forgot. So we can bring cloth up there. Okay, so we probably want to do a round of selling cigars in the colony instead of going abroad. Oh, and you have more coats. Well, I guess we're selling coats in Europe. Yeah, we're probably gonna sell some coats in Europe. Okay, let's send you back to Europe and we can go pick up more coats. Or sell off more coats in Europe. Probably irrigating the swamp there. Let's get more food. And then in Charlesburg Royal, how goes the understudying? We got 1 at 3, 2 at 1. Okay, so 4 turns, we'll have 2 more. In 2 turns, we'll have another 1. Basically, we're going to train up all the regular guys that we don't need for working cities into veteran soldiers. One of the things we're also waiting for is more specific founding fathers. Yeah, sugar wouldn't waste the 4 sugar. That'll be fine. Well, they do get harder to get as you go along. So we're getting Thomas Jefferson. Thomas Jefferson will help with the Sons of Liberty stuff. We'd like to pick up George Washington. And one of these guys converts the Indian converts into free colonists, which would give us a big population boom for equipping guys with guns, horses. There we go. So you mount up as a dragoon. You're already a seasoned scout, which... Well, I could have him abandon being a seasoned scout, and he can train up being a troop, but I'm not going to bother with that. And then, ship has arrived in Europe. So we sell off the coat, make a decent profit on that. Sell off some more coats, and then what do I want to buy and bring back? Thinking a mix of tools and horses. We'll wait one turn so we can bring the colonist along. Okay, and then you're going to sell. I think this was. Oh, they want the cloth. Yeah, okay. 100 cloth for 750. In theory, we'd get a better price in Europe, although we'd be paying 50% tax, 51% tax in Europe. So it'd actually be after taxes worse in Europe. So we'll accept the offer. Of course, we'll turn around and buy their stuff. They're straight up selling cigars, so we'll buy some cigars. Yep, so we want to get them the trade goods. And they want the coats. So next stop's over there. Okay, I want to take one of you off of that task. Do we want more Sons of Liberty, or do we want more crosses? So we get people faster. So 3 more artillery have been added to the Royal Expeditionary Force, so there'll be 3 more artillery we have to kill. We have a shortage of tools. Oh, because the gunmaker is eating all the tools here. Fair enough. We're a little bit positive on ore. So I could take the gunmaker off and put him on making tools. That'll generate some tools faster. We won't be making any guns in the meantime, but that's probably fine. And then we'll have the tools for the shipyard. So what, we've got shipyard, and shipyard. Okay, so we're almost done with the queue here, and then we'll send the lumberjack and the carpenter off somewhere else. To accelerate construction over there. Which in theory would actually might help us by lowering the royalists. Yeah, to drop the royalists like 4. So that means we could put 2 more people in here. Or we'll just be that much closer to completion. Of getting a rebel. Tool prices dropped, okay. As well. So in Europe, I could afford another cannon, but that'd be expensive. We're probably at the point where we're better off with just veteran soldiers and matching them with horses. Could grab another expert silver miner. I will do that. We'll equip you as a dragoon. And I think it's... Well, I'll buy some tools. We'll actually equip you as a scout, so you can go riding out to where I want you. When you get there, some horses. I want to save a little bit of money for various expenditures. So with that, off to the colony. The 3 cities I want to keep, I do probably want some modest garrison there. So we've got 3 cannons here, so I'm thinking like 5 veterans and the 3 cannons. So let's get you over there. We'll activate one of the other guys. Send him back over, that way we've got someone else to be around to be trained. So fortify you. You're the season's cat, so we'll put you back to being fortified. French veteran, there we go. Okay, so there's our trade goods. We can unload that. And we can unload you. And I think we worked out we wanted to be selling cigars here in Europe. Or here in the New World instead of sending it back to Europe. At least for a pass. So, trade goods up there. Cigars there. Okay, so I've kind of got this wagon loaded up in kind of opposite directions, but it'll be fine. And I don't want the silver boycotted, so we will accept 2 more of those guys trained up to veteran status. And we're going to ship in Europe. Okay, so you got trained. So equip as Dragoon. The other one's out in the field. So you equip as Dragoon. In the field with you. Begin getting trained. We can bring you in to work on the wood supply, and again, you can also get trained. They need to be in the town to be assigned a training job. Well, I've got 100 silver here to transport to the old world, so we'll take the 100 silver, and I suppose we'll take the 96 cigars. And then back in Europe, we're selling the ore. Actually, in comparison to some of the other stuff we could sell, the ore is reasonably priced. Surprisingly. And then the silver, which is going to crash every 100 we sell, but in the meantime, we're going to be making pretty decent money per cargo slot there. And then I'm going to go send the frigate back to Quebec. With nothing loaded on it. Intentionally nothing loaded on it because at some point we're going to abandon that colony, so I don't need that built up. Okay, so you've come back with hides. That's fine. Drop the hides here. Pick the coats. And then we'll go have you drop the tobacco off. And then you've got coats, so you can come over here and sell the coats. So yeah, your task is to go there. And then I think I can just hit enter. Yeah. There we go. So now we've got Thomas Jefferson, which increases their Liberty Bill production. Don't care about trade between colonies, so we're going to skip you. I don't want the auto stockade, so we're going to skip you. Don't really care about privateers. So we'll take William Penn for the cross production. Yeah, 50% more Liberty Bill production. And then you are the one who wants the trade goods. Okay. Sell trade goods. And we bought them in Europe for 300. We're selling them here for way more than that. So accept the offer. And we are going to buy whatever they're selling. They're selling the cotton, so we'll accept the cotton. So we've got 3 veterans here. I think we're going to go up to 5. Four veterans here. Activate you to our training facilities. Honestly, at some point it might be worth trying to build up more training facilities elsewhere, but for the moment they are in the capital. Okay, you're a regular free colonist. We do have a overstockpile of guns in Charlesfort, if memory serves. Yeah. We'll load some guns onto the transport. And then we'll actually have that guy come over and mount up as a dragoon before having to come down the hill. Europe with you. You've arrived with more horses, more tools. So in theory, I can put the gunmaker back on the guns, which we'll do. Okay, here we're selling goats. And that's a pretty bad price. Although it's still better than after post-sales tax in Europe, so we'll accept that. They could actually use some more tobacco, so we'll take tobacco. Okay, then you want to go back to that city to drop the tobacco. That's what this guy's actually here to do, dropping off the tobacco. Actually, I could drop the coats. No, we were going to sell the coats. I think we were going to sell the coats. Although I just did sell coats, and there might not be any coat demand up here. So no coat demand there. There's cloth demand there. Cloth and rum. Rum, cigars. Well, that's my city. Which, you don't get to sell anything to the colonials. Cigars. Okay, so there's no coat demand right now. So in which case we do want to be teeing that up on the transport back to Europe. Then you have cigars, not to be sold here, not to be sold here. I don't really want to go that far afield, although we could sell cigars there. Here was the place we could sell cigars? Yeah, so we'll go down there to sell cigars. You're empty. Do I have any storage in? I do. I do have the one there, so I don't need to send it up there. Although I should probably send one over to the cloth making spot. Oh, we got a couple there, so I didn't need that one there. Okay, never mind. You go over there. And you can stay there, so we've got some stockpiling space. Expert silver miner. Your job is actually going to get to the silver mine, like so. Where I'm going to assign you for some gold for the land and start mining silver. I'm going to do that. That way, the horse stockpile isn't full. We can go drop that off where we do other stuff. Coats. I need coats. So yeah, I don't really need... I'm running into the problem. I actually really don't need cigars anymore. Although we have quite a bit of production capacity for cigars. Which reminds me, I should probably turn that back up again. Make it even more overkill. Yeah. Let's have you go to our rum distillery. See how much rum we can get across the lake. Probably want to irrigate the last one, just to maximize the food coming out here. Drop off the tobacco. drop off the cigars. And we can see the other Europeans are fighting the natives. One of the things I try to, unless I'm going to specifically lean into it as the Spanish, it's usually something I try to lean against doing. Because it can be rewarding, but you're losing troops that you would otherwise use in the War for Independence. We got a new colonist there. We got a new veteran soldier trained. And we have a ship here. Okay, so let's deal with the veteran soldiers bit first. You equip as Dragoon. We'll take one of the Free Colonist Dragoons, put you in the city, and assign you to the teacher. And we sell off the silver and the cigars. I'm gonna equip you as a Dragoon. I'm also... Can I train? I probably can train. Nope. Let me close and open this again. There we go. Yeah, I can afford a master blacksmith. We'll take one master blacksmith. Oh, you were in Port Royal. What's the status of horses and guns? We got horses, we got no guns. That actually kind of works for me. So, you grab a horse. And then I'm gonna have you ride to the guns. I probably do want to keep the wagon here, so we'll just fortify that wagon for the moment. Well, I don't necessarily want to keep it. I want a wagon available. You've arrived where the rum is. Please begin preparations to move the rum. I could probably do with another distiller as well. That's a good question. I haven't evaluated my ability or my inability to train distillers. Various training facilities. Buildings, I'm looking for the school. Schoolhouse. Farmer, fisherman, trapper. So the level 1 doesn't do distilling. Level 2 I do know does the soldier and does the distiller as well. Okay. Okay. So that's the sort of catch-22 I'm going to run into there, is I would like to mainly focus on training people into being soldiers, although I do kind of want more weavers and more distillers in the short run. And it is very much a short-run thing. Okay, with that we got 5 veterans there. I'll activate everyone who isn't a veteran so we can get them out of the town. I may distribute the veterans a little bit more. We'll see where we are later. French scouts. So we want... I've actually got reports that we're full on guns in both spots. We'll go over here because we already took guns from the another one recently. You... Go to Sticker. So the other thing to do here, right, is upgrade the rum distillery. That would help. Upgrade the rum distillery, probably upgrade the rum factory. Oh. Was it, college? You already have... No, I have a school. I have the schoolhouse, yeah, so we'd have to get up to the college level to do that. Okay. Right, you go across the way. Drop off the rum that we're going to load into our cart here. Because I know the locals want both rum and cloth. So you want rum and cloth. I suppose the other alternative is I could actually build ships in the shipyard. I'm not going to do that. I don't think we necessarily need more ships, but you win the War of Independence not at sea, but on land in this game. Once again, we're just going to accept the tax increase. More soldiers trained. Price of coats is rising. Okay, you equip as Dragoon. You equip as Dragoon. You're a regular guy, so get in the town. You're a regular guy, get in the field. I suppose I could chop down one of the forests here and irrigate it for more tobacco if we were really trying to get some better cigar yields. I remember... No, I was about to say, I remember we might have someone in Europe. We don't. Any of the locals want cigars, so we worked out you don't. You want rum. You'd buy tools, but you also need tools for other stuff, like guns. They get made into guns. You'd buy cigars. I think I've already got someone coming to bring you your cigars, so... And cigars down there, although that's expected to be a pretty bad price. Although, given what the price is in Europe, maybe that isn't a very bad price. Sell, we can sell both of them here. We'll start with the rum. Yeah, and that's a good price for rum. Honestly, I'm just gonna leave the rum in port here. And then we'll go pick up some coats and go to Europe. Two more veterans trained. I have less than 30 tools in Charlesburg Royal because it finished its construction. It's also not building anything anymore. We could definitely be building things there, though. We could be building ships, we could be building artillery, and we could be building wagon trains. But I think what we're going to do is actually pull the carpenter and the lumberjack out of the town and send them elsewhere. We'll have to bring tools in for them to be able to do what they want to do, but we can just pull them out and send them elsewhere. Right now, we got a surplus of ore and we're going to shortage of tools. So take the gunmaker off of making guns. We're also a little bit full in guns. Make more tools. We need more tools. More converts. And yeah, nothing being built there, but we've just taken the builder off, so that's fine. Port Royal also has too much wood. Let's get you working back on the cotton plantation again. Or do I put you in the lumber mill? No, I think this is where I'm going to bring the builders over to. We'll crank out construction here. We are planning, I think at this point I'm planning on keeping it, so we will probably want to build the stockade and the fort here. There's no ores, so there won't be a blacksmith. Or it isn't worth building a blacksmith. Backwest, rum. Okay, so that's kind of what we want. The fur might be tempting, or granted, the other way I would do is I could just chop down the forest places on as well. And then I want 5 veterans there as well. Although for the moment we only have 2. Didn't I handle the... Oh, I've actually got someone on construction. And that actually might be ideal. I don't necessarily need a lot of construction. Although I don't have any wood production right now either. If I were to continue building stuff. Minimally building stuff. You know, we'll work on some artillery. I can bring a random person in. Yeah, random free colonist. Your job. Not make food. Make lumber. You're an understudy to someone. You become soldier, you become a veteran soldier. I wouldn't have got too many guns in the stockpile. Too many horses. Well, that's one reason to have wagons. Because then you can just load stuff in the wagons. We'll make another wagon train. Okay, so you sold off one of the things, sell the other thing off. Yeah, that's a good price. Except they don't even have anything to buy from them. Okay, you're pretty full of coats. He'll load you with even more coats. Yep, take some coats. No, leave those coats there. What's the status of Silver and Charles Fort? 1 whole stack of silver. I may need to do a slightly better job of distributing the guns. Because we're making guns pretty quickly. Oops, I need to activate that wagon. To the port! So, when the transport ship gets there, there will be 100 silver and 200 cigars. Okay. You have arrived at a location where I want you to sell cigars. I might be interested in seeing what the price for horses is. I'm not sure if the natives reliably buy horses. Okay, so better. Blacksmith has arrived. So I want to keep you in the town. Don't need to keep you in the blacksmith, so I'm actually going to move you over to Sons of Liberty Purge. So going through ore 12 at a time. Okay, so I can either make 20 guns, or I can make a few extra. Make 30 tools instead of 30 guns, 20 guns. I just think this is what we'll do. I may actually take the gun maker off and put him on the Sons of Liberty. If I do that, what's the ore state? Yeah, we probably want that, because otherwise we'll run out of ore real quick. And, well, even at this rate, we are going to run out of ore, because there's one source of ore, and we're already overtaxing it. Free colonist or fur trader. We'll take the free colonist. Book bulk carts are dropped. I'm not really that worried about that. Not Herman Cortez. Bartolome de la Casa. In some ways, that's going to be a step backwards. So the Indian converts we're using right now are really good at their job because they're +1 bonus yield for most of the things we're using them for. When they're free colonists, we'll be able to equip them with guns and horses, which, yes, that'll be buff in some ways, and yes, that'll be a nerf in some ways. I don't think this stops the spawning of Indian converts, it just converts all the ones you currently have. So in the short term, that will be... Actually, arguably in the short term, will probably be a detriment, because where you don't need all those guys to go to guns. But in the long run, all those guys we'll have converted can slowly get replaced with the new ones, if they were actually doing jobs, and we can then move the now new free colonists to being trained for more protective tasks. Okay, so you've arrived. Your job is to make more lumber than we know what to do with. Your job is to go there and to do stuff with that lumber. Oops. Wrong spot. There we go. So the lumber will be done in 7. The logs will overfill in the meantime. When the lumber mill is done, we'll be making construction twice as fast. And the church will be nice, the stable will be nice, the schoolhouse will be nice. Yeah, lots to build. At some point we'll have to drag in some more tools. Off to Europe goes the galleon. You just got furs, so go to the place where we handle furs. Let's price check selling horses here. What would you give me for the horses? Better than bringing it back to Europe. So yeah, we'll sell you some horses. I can probably even sell them some guns, but... You know, we'll buy some furs. I think that's all the construction we want to do at Cayenne. Arguably, let's have you equipped as a dragoon just to pick up those horses. Because you can still grow at maximum rate. And then, yeah, you can go wandering back over to that town. We definitely got some stuff if we're... Well, we're not going to keep the town in the long run. In the short run, we can benefit from moving stuff to that town. Soldier in Charlesburg Royal is ready for a new student. So you equip as Dragoon. Plop in a new student into that spot to get assigned to become a student. Yeah, we'll keep the guns here. Just load 100 guns into the location. And then when hostility, when we're thinking about hostilities, we can have the silver miners check up the guns and start hoofing it. No, don't waste that much sugar. Drop off the furs and the food. Drop off the furs. We have more coats we can sell. We got 100 something coats. Oh, because person got here. Could mount them up with horses. We're not going to rush to that. Actually, how many horses are we making? I'm making one, so we can definitely... Yeah, let's go ahead and just equip you as a trigger. You don't want coats. Oh, you only want tools. Okay. Okay, so no demand for coats in the colonies at the moment. Honestly, I think I'm just going to take that guy to the New World because well, we're not going to leave him on the docks. We're going to load him into the ship. We're going to stay here for one turn so we can get the next one, and then I might pay to bring a few more in. And I'm not going to bother to equip them because I think we just have the equipment in the New World. So we're building a newspaper here. Don't have surplus lumber to make it go faster. Yeah, okay. I'd had second master to still this entire time. Okay. Better thing. Well, let's get someone else to do the lumber working. There we go. Gotta look at us to run faster. We're still going to export the sugar to Europe because apparently Europe wants more sugar. Okay. And looking at the time, this is probably a good place to put a part break in. We're 50 minutes into what probably normally be a 40-minute episode. I may run these episodes a little bit longer because I'm getting an earlier start tonight. If you're watching on YouTube, there will be another part up tomorrow. If you're watching on Twitch, feel free to hang around. I'm going to take a short break to stretch the legs and sip some tea, and then we'll be back to recording the next part. I think we're getting closer to where we want to declare our independence. We're never going to catch up with the Royal Expeditionary Force and cannons, although we've got 15 cannons, which, divided across 4 cities, is quite a few cannons, because we're going to disband the rest of the cities. And then we do have cavalry that outnumbers the Expeditionary Force, although we don't have troop count that outnumbers them. Our troops arguably will probably be of higher quality, because they'll be mounted and armed with guns, and a lot of the veteran ones will promote into colonial regulars when we declare independence. And that's where we are at the moment. So until next time, wish you all the best of luck and a good time. Catch you all in the next part. And bye for now.